Climbers, have you been wondering how to effectively use hashtags to improve your visibility on Instagram? Are you looking for an easy to follow guide? That's what this episode's about, so stay tuned. You're going to learn some stuff. Welcome to the Climb! This is a show dedicated to helping singers, songwriters, and indie artists like you create leverage in the music business, because you're going to need proof that what you're doing is getting a response from the audience, that they care. It doesn't matter how good you are, they want to know, does anybody care about it? And the only way they're going to care about it is if you can get it from new eyeballs and you've got good content to get there. That's why we called it The Climb, C.L.I.M.B, creating leverage in the music business. It's all about you guys. All right? We want you to win. That's why we're here. That's a Baxternym, C.L.I.M.B. That's created by my good friend and co-host, Mr. Brent Baxter, who's an award-winning hit songwriter with cuts by Alan Jackson, Randy Travis, Lady A, Joe Nichols, and more. Got a couple number ones in Southern Gospel last year. Did you just get nominated for something else too, like that I saw?
What was that? There were the Diamond Awards, which is like a Southern Gospel Awards thing, and we're in the I can't remember if we're in the running for if we're in the final five, or at least in the
Got
running
so
to try.
many,
I can't
got
even
so many
remember now.
awards you can't even remember which ones are
That's
which. God
sad.
bless you.
I should know,
God
but
bless you.
either in the I can't remember if it's in the top five or in just like, hey, let me pull it up here. No, in the I think they're trying to get down to the final five, but like I got a couple things like in the top 10 that they're trying to whittle down to the final five. So we'll see.
Well, congrats on that, brother. That's fun.
Thanks.
And what I love about Brent is he helps songwriters like you turn pro by teaching you how to write like a pro, do business like a pro, and then on the regular, gets you in touch with the pros. In fact, you got a Gary Chapman thing coming up, speaking of pros right now,
Yeah,
right, with Ray?
that's right. Yeah, we're gonna be bringing in Gary Chapman, who's a Christian singer songwriter. He's doing a new record. He's looking for songs, so we're gonna try and hook up the community with him.
Dude, I've had a couple meals with Gary Chapman
Oh yeah,
and Ray. Yeah,
he's
and
he seems like
that
a real
dude,
hoot. I haven't met him yet, but we're of course
bro,
going to.
like, honestly, you gotta wear Depends. Like, you're gonna pee your pants. He's so funny. Your face hurts
Yeah.
when you're done talking to him. He's brilliant. He is freaking brilliant, like, with a capital B, and,
Hmm.
like, his humor is so fast and so good, and it's like, sometimes you're 3 bites into a sandwich, and what he said 5 minutes ago come back around and hit you in the head, and you're like, "Oh my god." Yeah,
Oh, that's hilarious. Well,
it's
he used to have a talk show
yeah.
on TNN, I think, or something. And so, I mean, he's legit.
So we're still in the introduction here, so you can find Brent very easily at
Yes.
songwritingpro.com. Once again, that's songwritingpro.com.
And I would like to introduce you to my co-host, Johnny Dwinell. Johnny owns Daredevil Production. They're breaking artists digitally by identifying new fans through data. Listen, if you're an artist looking to increase your streams, blow up your video views, sell more live show tickets, and get discovered by new fans, TV, and music industry pros, then Daredevil Production can help. Daredevil has worked with multi-platinum artists like Colin Ray, Tracy Lawrence, Ty Herndon, and Andy Griggs, just to name a few. And apparently, Gary Chapman has made him, laugh sandwich chunks out of his nose. You can
That's right.
find Johnny at daredevilproduction.com. That is production singular, no S, and there is no S because there is no other Johnny D.
Oh my god, especially when he's blowing chunks out of the nose. Come
Sandwich chunks
on.
through the nose. He's laughing so hard. He's hanging with the pros. So,
Well, hey, I got some big news just to start off right away, and I have to put this in. I put this in your songwriting pro group, but I haven't put it yet in because I got distracted with we've been so crushed, but I haven't put it in the Climb community yet. But uh, we just got the contract for digital marketing for the first official Nashville Nights International Songwriting Festival. And the first one is in Denmark, and it's September 17th through the 19th. And so, you know what I'm thinking about right now? I'm thinking about like a couple of our European friends,
mm-hmm,
like Paul DeMarco
mm-hmm.
and like Tracy
Lip, yeah.
Lip and and uh gosh, I'm forgetting. There's a couple more in there. I'm gonna email them all. But hey, I'm gonna be in your neck of the woods. I don't know how far that is from you. Like, but
Yeah.
but I'm gonna be in Odense, Denmark, September 13th through the 20th. So if you're there, come out and hang with me. I want to meet you and hang out. If you can make it happen, like let's do it. But it's a killer songwriting festival, and we were just talking about like there's a whole bunch of writers going, not the least of which is a very very close friend of the show, which is Chelsea Stallings,
Uh-huh. Yep.
and she is she's amongst those writers. The website is NNISF, so Nashville Nights International Songwriting Festival, NNISF.org, if you want to go check it out. But some of the marquee value headliners there: Bobby Pinson, Bob DiPiero, Barrett Baber, Blue Foley, Anthony Smith, Trent Tomlinson, Trick Savage, Tim Nichols, Eric Pasley, and Jeffrey Steele. These, if you don't know those names, go Google them, okay?
Mhm.
Because they wrote a lot of the hit songs that you know about, especially like DiPiero and
Well, I gotta tell you, it's DiPiero.
DiPiero. Oh, sorry,
That's all right.
DiPiero. Sorry, Bob.
Sorry,
We,
Bob. We
I haven't met you yet,
we
so
love you,
I haven't.
Bob. You've met his
We love you.
songs like American Made.
Yeah,
So many freaking songs. Blue
yeah,
Clear Sky. You've met his songs.
yep.
And
That's
so is a
right.
Hall of
So
Fame.
anyway, we're excited about that. That's a big deal because, well, number one, they're going to do a bunch of these, and this would be the first one.
Mhm.
And number two, I mean, that doesn't do my reputation any harm, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's good. That's good. So, shout out to Blue Foley and the team behind that. We're super, super stoked to be a part of that.
And this is the time where I wish
But
I were performing songwriters. I could go to Denmark.
yeah,
I'd
I
weasel my
know,
way
right?
in.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about like a couple. I got a couple big epiphanies for you, a couple big surprises. This is taken from an article that I got from Social Media Examiner, and if you're not a member of Social Media Examiner, you should be.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, it's a little pricey. It's $400, I think, for the year. Okay, so that's what, less than $40 a month,
Is that
but
Michael Stelzner?
that's Michael Stelzner. That's right. That's who it is. And man, it is more than worth it because of this kind of information that gets overloaded. I am so backed up on stuff I need to read. It's
Mhm.
overwhelming, but it's all amazing. And this one, the title is How to Use Instagram Hashtags for Business, a Guide for Marketers. And I think that the average artist would be like, oh, that's not for me.
Well, I hate to tell you.
Yes,
Guess what?
sorry, but you have a
You have a
business and you
business.
are a
Sorry.
marketer. So this is absolutely for you. Before we get to that, let's take care of a little business.
Mm-hmm.
We're super proud to be a part of the American Songwriter Magazine's podcast network, the ASPN. That's a 36-year-old brand name with the magazine. And so, I mean, that's just incredible for us to be on this network. We're super glad to be one of those flagship shows. If you are a long-time climber, go check out some of these other shows that are on there. It's all the stuff you love: songwriting, music business, and production. And if you found us through American Songwriter Magazine, welcome to the climb. We're happy to have you here.
That's right.
Join the Climb community. It's facebook.com/the Climb community. This is a growing, thriving community of real people, real information. There's lots of stuff going on. This is not a community where you're going to post something and then come back a year later and you're the last post that was the most recent post that was still
Right.
there.
Yeah.
Okay, like there's a lot going on in there, and just put your stuff. There's places for you to promote yourself,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a very specific place. There's a place for everything and everything in its place. There's to talk about gigs, to talk about uh, like wins, any new things that are happening, and anywhere you want to on the post, you can ask questions. And we have songwriters that are connecting through this community. We have lots of marketing questions that are being answered and people sharing stuff with that. So we're super proud of this and we want you to join. You have to ask to be let in, but we let everybody in. And one of the spots we have is Wednesday Wins, right, Brent?
That's right. The New Heights
New
post that we
heights.
do every Wednesday because it's a climb, so it's New Heights because we're all about branding. So yeah, so we share those every Wednesday. So I'm going to share a couple New Heights this morning. So Roger Fournier said fixing to track 3 new songs this morning and vocals with Ken Royster and Matt Dame. That's a double win. And Ken has worked with like Luke Combs. Matt Dame is one of the top, demo singers in town. Actually has the gig now as a lead singer for the Steel Drivers, a Grammy-winning bluegrass
Oh
band.
my goodness, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
congrats to
so
him. And I know Kenny. I've been in Kenny's studio
yeah, I've
multiple
been there
times.
before too,
Yeah,
and
it's a
super
cool
nice guy.
studio.
And Anyway, so Roger, I text that to Matt. I took a screenshot, sent to Matt. He was like, he was super nice. So Roger, Matt thought you were pretty cool too. Let's see here. What's another one? Oh, this you're gonna love this one. I gotta scroll down to get to it. There are a lot of wins this week, which is awesome. Okay, this is from Tracy Lip. Speaking of which earlier, says the Spinners are going to cut a song I co-wrote. One of the co-writers is the producer. It's all about networking to get in an artist camp. Brent and Johnny talk about this a lot. Their advice is spot on. I got the cut because I follow the same method Brent is talking about for maintaining relationships. The Spinners are old, but they still sound great. I heard some of the songs they've already cut. Atlantic Records believes in them, so they will get a decent marketing budget. Rock on, Tracy.
Right on. I now have one friend who's got a cut with the Spinners.
There we go. Isn't that awesome?
I mean, that's a big deal, man.
And there are several more. Don't have time to get to them all, but yeah, man, just keep on climbing, y'all. Love that.
There you go. So, hey, subscribe or follow the podcast wherever you follow it. And if you don't have a podcast platform or app that you use, just go to americansongwriter.com/podcast and you'll find us there. Okay. Make sure that you leave a rating and review if you're on iTunes. We're trying to get to 200. And finally, tell a friend about it. That's the biggest thing. Like, we are very, very grateful and very honored that you spend this amount of time with us every single week. It's a lot. You're starved for time, but you do it for a reason. And we tried to provide value to keep that reason there so you keep coming back. But if it's helping you, it can help somebody else too. So let's make that happen, right?
That's right.
All right. So
what's
let's
on
get
tap?
into this here.
Yeah.
A lot of you kind of savvy on this. There's some new stuff that's happening. I'm going to turn you on to with these hashtags, but specifically with Instagram, you need to understand. You really need to understand what's going on with the hashtag. So we're going to provide a little bit of clarity on this. Hopefully, this will be and I'll post this article in the C.L.I.M.B community as well.
Awesome.
After this drops on Tuesday, and this is, you'll discover a complete guide to using hashtags strategically across Instagram feed posts, story posts, and IGTV posts. And you'll learn how to choose your hashtags, how many to use, and where to put them in your posts for best results. And, one of the interesting things on this too, guys, is that it's about the psychographics behind choosing hashtags, which is interesting. So the basics of using Instagram hashtags for your business, and you do have a business, get over it. You are a marketer, get over it. Okay. If you're an artist, the basics are a lot of people struggle with hashtags. They don't know how to use them, or they just think that they don't work.
Yeah.
And hashtags are important on Instagram because the reality is that they're the secret sauce to success on that specific platform. Instagram has very limited search capabilities as a platform. It's not like YouTube or even Facebook in some regards. And one of the best ways to be discovered and therefore to grow your audience and get more eyeballs on your content. How many times have we talked about that?
So often.
Get you in front of new eyeballs is to use hashtags. And with the hashtag argument here, with this sort of conversation, we're coming from the point of view too that you've got content that is consonant with the digital platform, that you're putting out good content. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And
so we're assuming good content.
And we're assuming consistent content.
Yes.
As well,
okay.
So, the hashtags allow you to show up in various searches for your target audience, and they help you help people find more of your content. So using hashtags in Instagram feed posts and IGTV content can help that content show up in other search results as well. And using it on stories, it all works together, right? These are all different arms of stuff that you should be using. But there are some limitations on how many hashtags you can use. Once again, this is the general overview. On Instagram feed post, you can use up to 30 hashtags in the caption or comment to have them rank for search. So I choose to put them in the content because it just keeps the feed cleaner. Rather than the dot and put them below the fold sort of on the feed. Like I just put them in the content.
How many do you like to use?
Well, we're going to get into that. It's
Okay.
never typically 30. It's really just kind of like what's appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay. But and you can't be cutting and pasting them. Don't try to go around the system on that. If you're going to try to do that, then you really got to get sophisticated with it because you can be demoted for that on the
Meaning
algorithm.
cut and
So
paste, meaning, hey, every one of my posts has these same 5 or 6 hashtags in the same order
exactly.
all the time.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly right. And that the algorithm's gonna be like, "Rah, that's a bot,"
Yeah.
because you're behaving like a bot,
Yeah.
and then you're toast, right? And you're not gonna be found by anybody. So you just want to be real organic with it. And so for the feed posts, you can use up to 30. Any hashtags beyond 30 just won't show up on any searches, so they're useless for you.
Mhm.
For IGTV, you can use up to 30 hashtags in the description of your video. And for Instagram stories, you can use up to 3 hashtags.
Hmm.
Or you can use like one hashtag sticker,
Mhm.
or you can put 3 in the text box. So you get your choice. Okay. And we'll get to much more of these in the areas later on here as we go down the article. But what shows up in Instagram hashtag search results? Now that you know you can use Instagram hashtags and you want to put them in all of your content, you already know all this stuff. It's just you got to know there's no guarantees that you'll actually show up in any specific hashtag search, which kind of sounds ridiculous.
Right.
But the algorithm sorts everything for you, and the bottom line is if like bottom line, if you hashtag search result, you tap on the search icon and you type in the hashtag you want to look up, and then you tap on each of those tags, and you can see all the content that's behind those tags.
Mhm.
And you can have 2 tabs once you do this when you're searching via hashtag in the search window.
Mhm.
One is for the top performing posts, and one is for the most recent posts. So you can kind of organize them differently, right?
Mhm.
So everything on the, obviously in the top tab is algorithmically sorted based on your individual likes, right? So, and the kind of content that you interact with. If you like puppies a lot, then you're going to see more content with puppies in the search results. If you like self help stuff, if you like this or that, that's the kind of stuff that's going to be algorithmically curated for you. No matter what you're looking for, that's what it's going to search like within the hashtag search.
Cool.
The Instagram algorithm knows what you like, right? This
Mhm.
is this is stuff that we're used to. And uh, if you search for the most recent tab in your hashtag results, that content will be sorted chronologically, but then again, will still be sort of curated for your taste. So no, that's true as well.
Cool.
But there's a chance that your content will appear in the search results. And when it comes to hashtags, it's a kind of use it or lose it thing. If you don't use them, there's no chance of showing up in a search. If you do, there's a better chance that you'll be found by more people. So you, it's hard to really convey or communicate the importance of that. So just do it and do it intelligently, right? So
Yeah.
here we go. Number one, how to use the hashtags on the feed posts. Your Instagram feed posts are your best opportunity to appear in search results for various hashtags, but not every hashtag will work the same way.
Mhm.
So you want to be strategic about which ones you use and how you combine them. A lot of people sort of do, and I see most artists do this. They throw this spaghetti against the wall and hope it sticks kind of tactic.
Yeah.
And this is just not what you want to do. I mean, I think about artists who, let's say they drop a new song. So it's like new music, new song, new this, new that, country. And there's just everything that they think, and they're not researching the hashtags or anything.
Yeah.
They're just trying to throw it up against there. So you guys, you have to understand, like whether it's Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, whatever platform you're on, WhatsApp, this needs to be as important to you as radio tour, because this is your radio tour,
Yeah.
right? You're not going to go out on radio tour and spend the money and be away from your life and maybe your family or significant other and be gone for 3 or 4 months at a time and then just show up at some places and not show up at others because you're, what? No, no, no. You're there to do a job,
Yeah.
and you've got to leave on time to get to the place where you need to do the job. The appointment has to be made. You have to show up and know how to behave. And, this is all stuff that you're more than willing to do when somebody tells you to do it if you're on radio tour as an artist. But yet, we overlook this on social media. Well, I don't have a lot of time, and
Mhm.
that. Oh, well, you got 4 months of your life to give if we got to go on radio tour for a major
Right. Yeah.
label. Well, that's different, is it?
Yeah. A lot of times it's worse.
Yeah, you don't need to go $400,000 in debt with your label and spend 4 months of your life to accomplish the same thing, while you're sitting on a can.
Right. Yeah.
So, choose wisely, grasshopper, right? Um, so a lot of, we don't wanna do the spaghetti thing. The amount of hashtags that you use should be it's a it I'm gonna give you, like, a recipe on this, but it's more often it's more often about getting followers and stuff like that,
Hmm.
okay? That's kind of the way you wanna cure it. How many should you use? Obviously, anything beyond 30 is not gonna show up in a post, but you wanna do 15 to 20, I think, but and if you can go for all 30, that's great, but they need to be intentional.
Hmm.
They need to be strategic. If you can and you can go and search them and you can find, and we're talking about some strategy here, but you can find, like, how many people are following each of those hashtags. And this is where the recipes kind of come into a play because you want to combine a variety of hashtags from different categories of popularity. And to see how popular that is, when you go to the hashtag search on Instagram and type in your hashtag in the search bar and you tap that pound sign, you can see how many posts are associated with each hashtag that's relevant to what you're doing. And the recipe for maximum exposure here is choose 3 to 5 popular hashtags, which they're going to have between 300,000 to a million posts, right? For a
Hmm.
specific hashtag. Anything more than 1 million is just going to be irrelevant. We've spoken about that before because it's so saturated with content that it's just going to be spam bots and stuff. Um, Select 3 to 5 that are moderately popular, and that's going to be 80,000 to 300,000. And then you want some more niche hashtags in there. We were just talking about this with Chelsea Stallings' TikTok account, right?
Hmm.
She sings to her horses and she's
Blowing
got
up.
165,000 freaking followers on TikTok and 2.6 million likes. And she's singing her songs like with her horses because she's really good at horses and she's a really great songwriter and she's an artist and a singer.
Yeah.
And all of that comes together. It's very niche. How many people are singing to their horses? I got one friend that does that.
I only
That's
know of
Chelsea
one.
Stallings.
Right. Yeah.
so um, so the niche hashtags, these are super targeted specifically to like your industry or sub niche and what you do. And your sub niche could be, the difference between say, rock and roll and metal and like, metalcore or death metal or hair bands or, that's the sub niche, but also the sub niche could be specific to the content of the song,
Yeah.
like the subject matter of the song. Like when we did that with
Craig.
Curtis Brawley.
Oh.
Uh, with the and this was, by the way, a campaign that we did for a cover song that he did of Mariah Carey's "Hero."
Hmm.
That happened to be the ones. Curtis is a gay country artist who's out of the closet from Texas, and just his whole high school and school career, elementary school career, this dude was just like pummeled,
Hmm. Yeah.
like about the head, neck, face, and chest area, because he was born that way. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And it was brutal. Of all the environments he could have been, I mean, it just could have been worse. He could have been in a country where they kill you for that. But
Yeah. True. Yeah.
here it was just Texas, so it's it was brutal in that regard. And he was going to commit suicide in high school, and that was the song that saved him.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And so part of our targeting for this specific thing was suicide and trying to reach out to other people because that's what it meant to him, and that's the message we wanted to convey. So that's going to change the hashtag strategy, right?
Yeah.
And the digital targeting strategy for paid ads. But is this not digital marketing organically? Yes, and the strategy has to change with every single thing. That's another reason why you want to cut and paste, because
Right.
it could be very, very subjective for each song. Or
Hmm.
we just got through with a video content challenge. We're talking about a bunch of different pieces of content.
Yep.
Well, the same song, but this particular content went this way and this particular content went another way. And so we would use maybe different hashtags for each of those.
Yeah. One went very lighthearted. One went way heavier. Like,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, much not darker, but like way heavy. And so you want to use,
Yeah.
they may use different, one may have hashtag puppies, puppy love. The other one might have hashtag, in slavery now or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
in sex trafficking or whatever. And you could, those like for the same song, but not the same piece of content.
right. And it's gonna then reach different people, and maybe on some of those. Gosh darn it,
And
this
if you
is
want to
like
know what we're talking
another.
about, go listen to Video Content Challenge number 3. It just dropped on Friday.
Yeah, just dropped this past Friday, and for that matter, it could be if he does all the different pieces of content that we talked about,
Hmm.
right? Dorian does, then uh, he could have a lot more traction on one of the 7 different
Hmm.
things that we talked about. That would be because it maybe was more niche,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden people are like, "Oh my goodness, wow, I love like this is speaking to me." Blah blah blah. Because that particular little piece of 30-second content with that niche hashtag was the thing that just got him some traction.
Hmm.
You know what I
Yep.
mean? And just bumped him up on how to do that. So the niche ones are going to be, much, much smaller. And then you also want to have 1 or 2 of your branded hashtags. For I think of branded hashtags, what does that mean? Like for the Nashvilleans, we coined the phrase, they coined the phrase dark country.
Hmm.
And so it's sort of like Dark Side of the Moon meets country music. It's very spacious in the arrangements and the tones are darker. Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon meets country music, and
Hmm.
it's super cool, and
Dark Side
and
of the
that's
Neon
their
Moon.
that there you go.
Yeah.
And that's their thing. So if you don't have branded hashtags, let's talk about that,
Yeah.
So which hashtags should you use in your Instagram feed posts? So this is still about the feed here on the feed surface. So, simply adding a long list of hashtags to your posts isn't enough. You want to find relevant hashtags for your business. In this case, maybe your song which is your product for your business, a
Hmm.
specific product, one of many, or or your brand as an artist and like that. So, don't use popular hashtags like hashtag love or hashtag vacation or hashtag no filter.
Hmm.
These are going to be 500 million or a billion people. It's just worthless, and it's not very related, and it's too broad,
Yeah.
right? If you have a love song, hashtag love isn't going to help you,
Yeah. Because there are just a
right?
bazillion of them, and you just get washed right down the feed.
Yeah. Most people don't pick the right hashtags for their audience.
Hmm.
And by the way, the better you get at this for free, when you finally do make that transformation into digital marketing, whether you're using a service like Daredevil or whether you're doing it for yourself and you educated yourself, you are going to really have that muscle is going to be more developed for you to do the targeting digitally that you want to do. That's what we're trying to do is target people very specifically. Like, yeah, this song is about pale Asian boys with one leg who have bad acne. Well, there's a hashtag for that, and we can find just those people, and we don't need to worry about anybody else that's not interested in this product,
Right. Yeah.
or this song. So, an example that it uses in this article here is car insurance, because no one's likely to go to Instagram for car insurance. That's what Google's for,
Hmm.
right? If you need car insurance. So the only ones who are looking at hashtag car insurance are competitors, if who are selling car insurance, right? So think about that in terms of your artist life. That hashtag isn't going to attract your target audience. But if we go into psychographics,
Hmm.
okay, then we're going to find some other things. So, where is this audience? What is the audience doing? Who is your audience, right? By now, you should know this if you've been listening to this podcast for a while. You
Hmm.
better have figured this out.
Oh,
But
I got
as
an
an
idea. Okay, here's a
yeah,
thought on a psychographic. So, and we're gonna have to talk about this in an upcoming song title challenge, but uh never want to get that sober again. All right. That we
yeah,
song title challenged that one a little while back. The guys brought me in to help do my thing on there, and we wrote this thing. And there's part of the lyric where it talks about basically like uh if you're sober, a round of golf is just a long walk trying, with just is just a long walk hitting a ball hoping it don't hit the sand. If you're
oh,
golfing sober, right? So
yeah,
um anyway, there's a whole context why that matters. But then okay, hashtag, you know, drunk golf or drunk golfing, or
Yes.
golfing while drunk, or like, okay,
Hashtag
what can
stay
I
out of the
do around that?
bunker.
You know,
Hashtag stay out of the bunker.
yeah,
Hashtag sand wedge. Hashtag avoid the
too drunk
sand.
to
Or
golf.
yeah,
Right, because
too
it's
drunk.
about
Yeah,
not having a beer while he's, and it's not really about being drunk while he's golfing, but it's like that's gonna hit some people that would be like, "Who's looking for that?" That would probably be one of the more niche ones, but let's just take a look. Actually, let's just,
yeah. Let's let's
let's
let's
just
get
do
to the
this.
bottom of this. Let's
So
get
let's
to the
just
bottom
say,
of
what to
this.
say, too drunk to golf. Okay, too
And
drunk.
by the way, so while he's looking this up,
Mhm.
we're talking about not just like first of all, there's no artist that's cut it yet, right? Although you wrote that
It
with
was
Hacker, right?
Yeah,
Brad
Rick
Hacker.
Ambergy, Brad Hacker, and, Buddy Lee Daubertine.
Okay, so you wrote so maybe and Brad's the artist, I think in there. So, but it doesn't have to be about ours. We're talking about like specifically a song from
Yeah,
whoever
this is
whatever
just something
artist
we just
cuts
wrote.
this.
So, say if it were out with an artist,
Yeah,
then,
but again, even with that artist, like the branding here. Now we're talking about very specific to the song,
yeah.
to the content of the song, right? So we've niched down from the genre to the subgenre to
Mhm.
the artist to the song
Right,
content.
exactly. So if you post about that song, or you post part of that, second verse or whatever, say, "Too Drunk to Golf" is like 100 posts, not very many.
Yeah,
Drunk Golf,
yeah.
1,000 plus. Drunk Golfers, 500 plus. So it's one of those nichey ones.
Very, very, very small, and yeah, so that's gonna be how you're gonna, sort of dish it down. So, like with the car insurance example, it's instead of, hashtag car insurance, what if it's hashtag, dream car or hashtag Lamborghini or hashtag new car,
Mhm.
right? Or hashtag first car.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
Like if it's your first car, what are they gonna need? Car insurance, hashtag my first car, right? I mean, all of those, this is where it's just a different way of thinking. You be creative. You're a creative for crying out loud.
Mhm.
Just flex the muscle over here and get used to that. And then put in quality content that's valuable to them and watch the tables turn.
Exactly.
Sometimes you can get away with some of the more, let's say, directly relatable hashtags. Um, for instance, so like I think about wedding photography,
Mhm.
right? If you like hashtag wedding photographer or um uh they're going to go to Instagram and they could look for that specifically. Now you might be a wedding band, right? That might be the
Mhm.
side hustle that you have for your artist career. So there's ways where that can be very useful. Know the difference between the two, right? But you just still want to think about people outside of that realm and getting to people that are thinking about what you have to offer through a different door rather than the front door, right?
Mhm.
Um, we've sort of talked about that, Brent, and just personal relationships. When, like my relationship with Michael Wagner, the producer,
Mhm.
I've been around Michael a lot in clubs and different things. I've seen him a million times. I knew exactly who he was. It was all I could do not to go up and introduce myself because he produced the soundtrack of my youth. I love that man.
Mhm.
I was one degree of separation away from him. I had a number of friends who I could have been introduced to him, but I thought I'd wait until there was a better way to do it. And then the first time I met him, I had a gig. I had a job for him.
Mhm.
Hey, I got a budget. I got an artist. Do you like this? Yeah, awesome. Let's go to work.
Yeah.
Much better
Yeah.
relationship. That I got a text on my birthday from Michael Ware. Happy birthday, brother. I'm like, oh, that just happened.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know what I mean? So it's like when you come in a different way than expected, it has different weight
Mhm.
on that relationship, and this is the relationship you're trying to create. So you can also be uh, talking about geographic locations as well. Maybe where you work, right? Like
Mhm.
Sarasota wedding band or South Florida wedding band,
Yeah.
or these can be different hashtag schemes that can work for you to get you in front of the right place, right? Um, and hashtags that drive business results, right? Like different popularities when you use hashtags with different audiences, it drives results for your business. It can come in the form of new followers, an email or a phone call, depending on what your CTA is, right? Or
CTA
in this
meaning call to
case,
action. Yeah.
call to action. That's right. Or engagement on the post, or, in your case, it could be like video view, it could be
Hmm.
stream on Spotify, something like that. Popular hashtags, the more popular hashtags are going to give you an initial burst of activity from non-followers within a matter of minutes or seconds. But the content's going to be buried like another minute later, right?
Hmm.
Because the hashtag's so popular. But so it's good for that short burst.
Yeah.
Okay, but then understand the mechanics that it's going to be buried. And so then your existing audience of followers is engaging with your content as they log into Instagram. The moderately popular hashtags keep your article content active for hours into days with more non-followers. But now the initial burst of non-followers sort of spurs the activity for the engagement to make it okay for your current followers. You're still cool, you're still relevant, and the modern hashtags sort of keep that ship floating a little bit longer on that content. And the understand that the Instagram algorithm kind of looks at your content and determines that your followers are consistently liking it, and non-followers are seeing it, saying it, and liking it. And these are things that rank you higher. It says that you have great content, and so that algorithm is going to do things for you that will do that. So back to Chelsea Stallings, right? Like, she's such a niche thing. Well, she's got horse followers that want to hear her sing. And then
Right.
she's got some people that just want to hear her sing, and some songwriter people who also happen to like horses. It
Yeah.
comes from all these different angles. And now you see her, like, she's ranked high. So each post that she has now is getting a lot more attention and a
Yeah.
lot more love. And we're gonna have her on the show, by the way, because right before you started texting this, I mean, she's got an incredible story that we're gonna share with you soon
Yeah.
here. I think we can talk her into it. I just put that out there.
Yeah. We just
So
put that out there, Chelsea, if you're
she'll
listening.
listen to this, and now she'll be shamed into coming on the show.
Right.
Uh, and then, in the niche specific hashtags, you start ranking as a top performing post there. So that's why that recipe works, right? And top performing posts can stay in top placements for months, which means, if somebody's looking for that specific hashtag, when they go to that search result, you can still be one of the first ones because it's such a niche thing
Has a longer tail
that
on it. Yeah.
it's a longer tail on it. Yeah. Doesn't that make sense,
A longer
guys? Like,
shelf life. Yeah.
yeah, longer shelf life. And they tap on your content, they see your profile, and you're relevant to them. Your content's good, it's competitive, and now they're gonna relate to that.
Hmm.
Um, where should you put the Instagram hashtags? Uh, Caption or comment doesn't matter. The reality is it doesn't really matter. Some say it's more advantageous slightly to put them in the caption, but I just put them in the comments so it doesn't look spammy, because you
Yeah.
don't look like a douche, I
Yeah.
think.
That's what I do too. Is I'll keep once in a while I might put one in there, but usually I just keep that clean, and usually ends with like a link in the bio, go here to the Climb show, and then
Yeah.
in the first comment I'll just go ahead and pop in my hashtags there. That way it's
Yeah.
searchable, but it's not on the post itself.
Yeah, and listen, for a product, I might think like a hard product, like something that we were selling, like a T-shirt or
Hmm.
something like that. I might do something. I might choose to do that differently. I'd probably still lean towards putting the hashtag in the comment, but I can't help but think that one of the sort of hangups with getting artists to become better marketers of themselves is that they are the product, and so it's that
Hmm.
you know, that obnoxious thing, blah, blah, blah. So, you know what? Just I think all artists should probably just put them in the comments
Yeah.
and keep the feed clean,
Hmm.
and and let those hashtags work for you sort of behind closed doors, and let it be about the message that you're putting there, and let's not you don't want to look spammy when
Right.
you're an artist. You really don't. Um, I mean, the algorithm doesn't judge your content based on where you put the hashtags. Know that. So the placement isn't going to affect the search results. Both tactics work equally. It's just a matter of personal preference. And I think, just from a point of view, it's better to be cleaner on the caption.
Hmm.
Um, so it does matter where you're placing them if you use incredibly popular hashtags. If you're using 5 million or more, which we don't recommend on post results, um, uh, they're going to want to put those in the caption. So I don't recommend that. But if you do use one, if you try to experiment with one,
Hmm.
put the rest of the hashtags in the comment section, and just the big ones in the above 5 million in the caption.
Mhm.
Okay. So that looks a little cleaner and not spammy, by the way,
Right.
if
Yeah.
you do that.
And sometimes, the
Um,
hashtag is, can it bring its own value as part of the content, right? So sometimes, I'll add a hashtag even to a text to a friend as part of the
it's part
joke,
of the message
part of the
almost.
message, part of the joke. Like, I may, uh, you know, text somebody like group text, and we may crack on one of our friends, give him a hard time. Then I may hashtag like, he's not part of this group, is he? Or you just do some, like, it can be part of the content itself. It's not really for search. It's not, but then maybe that thing love, maybe that's just a word you want to be associated with your brand. And therefore you want them to see that, or acceptance, or, you know, whatever it might be. Metalhead. Maybe you just want people to see that, to associate you with that. It has this
Because it's like a
different value.
branding thing
It's a
more
branding
than
thing.
just a search thing. Yeah,
Yeah, you use
yeah.
it more for branding
Or
or
it's
for a
germane
joke.
to the content as opposed to germane to the search
Right.
only. It can be germane to both. But here's the other thing is that, and this is just a pragmatic sort of functional way to look at it, guys, is um, if you post um, the if you're taking 10 to 30 seconds to put the hashtag list in the comment, you're losing that time in the hashtag hub, okay, and all the potential engagement that you can have. So that's why the big ones above 5,000, which is going to be like a fire
Mm-hmm.
hose of stuff, like you put those in the caption and then you take your time putting everything else into the comments section if you choose to do that. I don't recommend it, but there might be one that just makes sense, or in your case, like you said, Brent, that's conversational to
Right. It has its own
um,
value, even if it's not really for a search thing.
the caption, right?
Yeah.
You're going to get more out of it by putting it in the caption than you would uh, waiting to put it in into the into the comment section. And so, and it just works better that way. So, are your posts showing up in Instagram hashtag searches? How do you know if your Instagram hashtags are working? Did you show up in a search? Did people find your content? The easiest way to find this out is to review the insights for the post itself. And so below your post, above the caption, you'll see the View Insights link. And you tap on View Insights to open up a small screen of information. Swipe up on that little menu bar to see a full screen of information that tells you how that post performed. And if you keep scrolling to the bottom of the screen, it will tell you where your impressions came from, including how many impressions came from hashtags. You won't be able to tell which individual hashtags produced how many impressions, but you'll be able to see the overall hashtag performance. So, therefore, when you're concocting your recipe that's specific to what you're doing and which hashtags you use, if you go back 9 posts and you look at this analytical data, and then you see an increase because you've changed something that you've been doing 9 posts later, you're on the right track. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, example,
So
I have a Songwriting Pro account, which is, by the way, songwriting_pro. Anyway, if you want to look at that. So I'm just, there's a recent post that did fairly well for me. And I won't go into all the numbers, but I was just pulling this one up. So it gives me under insights for that particular post. It gives you how many hearts, how many comments, how many shares, how many bookmarks, how many profile visits, reach, that's kind of stuff, interaction. And then it says, like, you know, however many accounts reached, 7% weren't following songwriting_pro. Like, oh, 7% are people that weren't already
dang, dude,
followers.
that's awesome.
So it's like followers. It doesn't say reach, how many. It says from home, from explore, from profile, from other. This is where your post was seen the most. And so in this case, it got the most impressions from home, explore, and profile. So, yeah. And then, of course, it gives you the option to promote the post. It's like, it's doing well. You want to put some money into it?
That's right.
So
That's
that's
right.
interesting. I don't really ever look at that, but that's,
Is it now you guys a metric to kind of go back and judge, right? Like here's the
yeah.
thing: if you can measure it, you can manage it. That's the deal. So here's a way to measure it that a lot of people haven't thought of,
Mhm.
and
Because that
so know this.
7% people that weren't following me, that's growth. That's potential growth. It's potential new
That's exactly
followers. It's
right.
potential new fans, new friends, new other. The other, from home, meaning, hey, it's people I'm feeding my regular, my existing community. which is important to continue to feed them good content that they want to
Yeah,
interact with. But the others, that's your growth metric of like potential growth. So that's
that's
interesting.
right. That's right. Isn't that cool? Like that kind of makes my nipples hurt a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. So for some of you,
Gamify it. Now I like, oh, I want to see how many I can get.
that's what it
And
is.
I was like,
It's
oh, what can I
gamified.
do to change this up?
Oh my God, we're going up, we're going down. Okay, we got to change some stuff. But so it's possible that you may not rank for hashtags or
Mhm.
have very little exposure from them. A lot of times that's going to be because your content isn't that good.
Mhm.
So if it's not performing well with your followers, Instagram is unlikely to show it to non-followers. And it's also possible that your content is in a very saturated environment where it's simply not a good time to show up in those specific hashtag results, you know? So another reason for that recipe, right, of
Mhm.
how to, have some niche in there with the moderate, with the big. And not every post will perform well with hashtags. Review and look at multiple posts and see how your hashtags are performing for each of those posts. Consider questions like this, like how many times did your content show up in hashtag searches and what was the consistency for those higher performing posts? Was the post timely and relevant, which may have generated higher search results? Was there a consistent component? Right? Perhaps every time you use the color blue in your content, you got better search results or something.
Hmm.
Try to look for some similarities in there. Take a look at your post details. So, um, how to use, by the way, if you don't see the option to tap on view insights, guys, chances are you're still set up as a personal profile. Insights are only available to business and creator profiles. So you can upgrade your profile to access these features moving forward. And that's just a flip of a switch. It's not a cost or anything.
Mhm.
You just, once again, you're a business and you need a business profile on Instagram. Okay. So that's a big one right there. So, how to use hashtags on Instagram stories. If you're putting a ton of effort into creating fun, engaging Instagram stories, you want more people to find that content. Um, you know, in addition to your feed posts, the Instagram hashtags are super helpful for your stories as well, but you only get to use 3 of them.
Mhm.
If you're feeling comfortable with how to use hashtags on the feed, then um, just heads up to make things super interesting. The stories strategy is completely different. So,
And they go away in
um,
24 hours anyway.
yeah. So, know the difference between the hashtag stickers and the text boxes. So, which hashtag should you use in Instagram stories? When it comes to your stories hashtags, you want to use your own branded hashtag because when somebody taps on that hashtag, it will take them to the post results for that hashtag, and you want them to see more of your posts, not somebody else's,
Mhm.
right? So branded hashtags and create some if you haven't yet, the exceptions to this rule are if you're at a live event or running an Instagram contest, it's a very limited time frame. So using a narrow hashtag specifically for that event or venue is actually, it works in your favor because people are just looking for that specific time period. Where do you want to place them? The two options. Do you want them in the story hashtags, or do you want a hashtag sticker or a text box? So to use the hashtag sticker, you tap on the sticker icon, the square smiley face at the top of the screen there, and select a hashtag sticker to add to your story. Start typing, and you've got yourself a hashtag sticker that's clickable meaning that they can click through to your branded hashtag and find other posts of yours, right? For the text box, you tap the capital A, lowercase a icon in your story, and then type in a series of hashtags using the hashtag symbol, the same way you would do it like in a caption, right? And you follow that by a text for that hashtag. Make sure that the hashtag is underlined when you post that text box. If it's not underlined, it's not clickable,
Mhm.
meaning that someone can't tap on it to see more posts with that hashtag. So let's make sure that's right. And to make things complicated,
Hmm.
Instagram has limits on how many hashtags you can use for each of these options. With the hashtag sticker, you can only use one, and you can only use one hashtag sticker on each story post. So only one hashtag to a sticker and only one sticker to a post.
Gotcha.
Okay. And you can only use one. And since you've added that sticker to your story, that's your hashtag. If you try to add another hashtag sticker, your existing one opens up and you'll end up typing over it with the new hashtag. For the next box, you can put in the text box, you can put in as many hashtags as you want, but you only really want 1 to 3. because the other ones aren't going to work in stories. And you want to keep your hashtags in plain view and legible enough that somebody can read them with the naked eye. How to use hashtags on IGTV, just to wrap this up. You want to be high quality IGTV content that's appealing to your audience. And this should be said for, oh my goodness, for all the video content creation shows that we're doing now. Like we need to push IGTV too. Using hashtags in your IGTV video descriptions is a great way to get more people to find you and your content. You're going to use a strategy similar to what you used on your feed post, okay? Because you can have up to 30 again. So you want to have that mixture of super popular, moderately popular, and niche. And where would you put them? The uploaded pictures, the upload process is relatively simple. You add the plus sign, select IGTV video in the pop-up menu, select the video you want to upload from your camera roll. And once you've done that, you've chosen the cover image, you get, because you can use a different image than choosing one from the video. So if you have single artwork, you can use that with maybe a live version of that song, or maybe a clip of the video, or maybe the whole video, because you can do up to 60 minutes with IGTV. And you can add a video title and a description. The description is optional, but this is where all of the goodies go. So you can explain what's happening in the video regardless of your account size. You can add a clickable URL there on IGTV. That's not the case for stories. I think you need to have over 10,000 followers to be able to have a clickable. So, or if it's paid ad, it doesn't matter how many followers you have. If it's paid content, you can have a clickable story, which will swipe up to your video content. And, this is where you're going to put all your hashtags right in there. So there aren't any subsequent comments. You put all those directly in the description of the IGTV video. So once your video is uploaded, it'll be scanned for hashtags in the caption and potentially appear in results of those hashtag searches. Like all other content, there's no guarantees. Additional IGTV exposure: when you upload the video to IGTV, you have the option to share a 1-minute preview to your regular Instagram feed. Right, because without a that's just a limit for video and Instagram feed. Period, is 1 minute, unless it's paid traffic, and then you can go 2 minutes. So you can do a preview that could be like the most interesting part of a music video if you're promoting that, to get people to jump through to IGTV and see the whole video. And get the exposure there. And once again, using this is a great, Instagram is a great way for exposure to your content that promotes your music videos, because if people get turned on to the content and you're saying something that's, first of all, it's competitively done, and you have content that makes sense and it's intriguing and they're going to do it, then they're going to seek it out on other platforms. Like this strategy can help your YouTube account grow. Right? We did that with Lala. We proved that. We drove 0 traffic to YouTube on purpose, but because people like that content so much, she's got over 108,000 views on a campaign that she spent $1,000 on. That's pretty good. And over 2 million video views on Facebook, and over 17,000, 100% views on Facebook and Instagram, but 105 or 108,000 views on YouTube. That's pretty cool. So when everybody sees the video, they get the prompt at the bottom. When they see the video preview in the feed, they get the prompt at the bottom to watch the full IGTV video, and they get another prompt to keep watching, which would automatically send them to IGTV if they watch the full video there. So that's it, guys. The hashtags are a key to success here. Make sure that you play around with these and you learn how to use them. This is real important stuff, specifically on Instagram, because there's not a whole lot of other ways to do it. Different than, say, what happens in the way the algorithm works on the YouTube platform, right? So anyway, guys, that brings us to the end of another Killer C.L.I.M.B episode. Make sure you join the C.L.I.M.B community, leave a rating and review, and tell a friend about it, right? And I should tell you this: we're available for consultation, right? So if you got questions about this and you want to dig a little deeper and a little one-on-one time, more specific with your assets would be helpful, just email me at info@daredevilproduction.com and put consultation in the subject line. We'll make that happen. And guess what? I've got good news. I have created I should have said this at the beginning, but a really, really killer digital asset now. So giftfromjohnny.com is working again, and you can download this brand new piece of digital content, which is, I mean, this is like massive, guys. I put this together. I love it. I think you're going to love it. And the content is it's just called Whomever Owns the Traffic Rules the Road. And it's a PDF download. It's learn how to honor the digital platform. It's absolutely free to you. Just go from giftfromjohnny.com and tell us where to send it. That's all.
Awesome. Yeah.
So once again, this podcast exists because we want you to win. So keep on climbing.
Hashtag we'll see you at the top.